Hey everyone, it's Matt here, and today we're doing another episode of Did I Get What I Ordered? And that is a mouthful. Should have thought of that before naming the series. So today we're doing something a little bit different. So usually I go for physical games because I like physical over digital, but me not wanting to leave my house, me not wanting to bring new items into my home, at least for the time being, I thought, you know what, maybe, just maybe I could try to go for some digital games. And then I saw, I think it was a tweet from Cheap Ass Gamer, a Twitter account that I follow because I want those deals, and I found a website called Fanatical, and I've never heard of them before, and they had something called the Build Your Own Lockdown Bundle. And I was like, are you telling me that I can build my own lockdown bundle? And it said right there, you can build your own lockdown bundle. Now, again, I don't really go for digital games, but I saw the price and I was like, damn, for that cheap? Let's see the quality of games we're gonna get. And yeah, so let's find out if these games are going to be good. And also, I'm not trying to throw shade at this website, but again, I've never heard of them, so I want to see if there's going to be something weird, like the Steam keys don't work or something like that. So let's find out what games I got, if they're good. So let's cut to all that right now. So now would be a good time to mention, especially with that countdown clock on the upper right hand side of the screen, I got this bundle a while back. I recorded this video a while back, so this lockdown bundle, this specific one, is not available anymore, but they do have other bundles on the site, and I've gotten those as well, which we might be doing videos on in the future. Now, looking at this one in particular, it is 1 game for $1, 5 games for $2.99, and 10 for $4.99. Now, they say games, but also DLC can count as well if you'd like. So looking at these games, you can see right here I got Skullgirls and Skullgirls Encore. Now, I've heard of Skullgirls, I mean, who hasn't, but I don't know too much about the game, never played the game before other than Skullgirls. Good game, should try. Also, you can see down here I picked a game called Dex, never heard of that game in my life. Some of these I picked because not only did I read the summary, which I will read out to you later with some gameplay footage and just give my thoughts, but just looking at the cover art, I thought, oh, that really sticks out. Speaking of that, Old Man's Journey as well, just the art style for that was very interesting. The game, the name of the game not so much, but the art style really kind of stuck out to me. And Who's Your Daddy? That's a game that I think a lot of us have probably heard of. If you've been online throughout the years, you've probably seen people sharing that. So I wanted to see what it was all about because I've heard a lot of interesting things about it. Also picked up something called Nihilumbra. Again, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I do know that it just looks intriguing. Same thing, by the way, with Pony Island down there. Shuyan Saga. Looking at the art style as well as the price, I thought that it was a really good deal, potentially, of course. Looking at World's Dawn, that one as well. I definitely love the artwork on that, and you'll see it a little bit later. And the Hex was just one that, again, really just interested me just from the look of it. So it says here that I saved $105.91. Now that is a little subjective at this point because I haven't played the games, so I could have saved nothing, but it's still really cool to see that there, especially if I don't like the games. Well, I only spent, you can see how much, literally pennies for these. But you can see the total, it says $6.88 and not $5. Well, that's because I went for something called mystery keys. You could do a mystery digital game bundle. Now you might be thinking, Matt, you're an idiot. And here's the thing, okay? Before you listen, look, okay? They're literally $1 each. So if a game is worth $20, even if it's an okay game, I saved $19. Before we move on, I should note that yes, with all 10 mystery keys, I now am spending $12. So again, for all of these games, if even one of them is good, and I can't imagine Skullgirl not being the good one, sorry every other game on this list, I'm just saying we have one assured good game. Even if the rest are terrible, I've only spent $12. So, not an idiot. Before we take a look at the mystery games, let's take a look at some footage from games that we do know in no particular order. So let's take a look at Nihilumbra first, and as we're doing that, I'll actually read the summary from the product page. It says, "Discover the world of Nihilumbra and join Born on his adventure to find himself while trying to escape from his inevitable curse. Born was created from the absolute nothingness, the void, but somehow he separates himself from the black emptiness and appears in the world. This is where his long odyssey begins, in which he will learn how to use the colors around him to gain powerful abilities and transform the world. However, his experiences come at a high price. The void must be won. It seeks to reclaim him and will never stop chasing him, destroying everything in its path along the way. To survive, Bourne will have to condemn the earth he walks to its inevitable obliteration by the void. And yeah, no, that checks out. No, but really, the game was everything that it was describing. You're trying to run away from the void, from creatures created essentially from the void, from the looks of it. You are using different powers that they give you. In this case, you can actually use one to ice certain areas down to get away faster from enemies, and to also speed up so you can actually you can jump farther and higher. So it's actually really cool. You do have to use the keyboard, sadly. You can't use your controller, but thankfully the controls aren't super clunky, so it's not really hard to use. I really do enjoy the art style. The dialogue, it is a full voiceover, which is nice, but at the same time though, the script itself, it seems like it's trying to be not edgy as in, like edgy humor that's trying to be kind of offensive and whatnot. Not edgy in that sense, but edgy kind of like this goth emo phase kind of edgy. But it's not terrible. It's just that it's definitely reminding me of me when I was 15 writing poetry. Either way, fun game, and I would play it again. Moving on to Who's Your Daddy, the summary here says that Who's Your Daddy is a casual one-on-one video game featuring a clueless father attempting to prevent his infant son from certain death. Here's the problem with Who's Your Daddy. You might be seeing some stuff on screen. You're like, why am I just showing menus while talking about this? Well, the reason why is because you could do split screen, as you can see right here, but that's someone who's in your home. You can't do it online. See, from the looks of it, everything with this game online is matchmaking, and you have to go into rooms and servers and whatnot, and I looked at all that stuff, and nobody was on. So I literally could not play this game to test it out. I'm sure it's a fun game. I've heard that it's fun and wacky and kooky, but I can't tell. So as far as I'm concerned, this game, at least as of this time, is a dud. Now let's look at the hex. So the summary here says, in a creaky old tavern, in a forgotten corner of the video game universe, a storm is raging. The barkeep gets a patchy phone call. It's hard to tell what the caller is saying, but this much is clear. Someone in the 6 Pint Inn is planning a murder. There are 6 patrons. All of them are video game protagonists trying to escape their past. But the 6 Pint Inn has a way of bringing back old memories. Each flashback plays out in an entirely different genre, sometimes blending multiple. By exploring these memories, you may discover the identity of the murderer, or you may learn much darker secrets. And you know what? Yeah, no, that checks out too, I gotta admit. So, looking at this, I'm being serious, I really am. Looking at this game, I do enjoy the art style. I'm sure it's a your mileage may vary kind of situation, but personally, I do enjoy it. Now, as you've already seen, you do have to play this game with a keyboard and mouse. I'm fine with that because, again, it's not really too clunky. There's not so much to remember, so I think it's very easy to navigate around. Now, you're talking to everyone, so you might think that, oh, it's, you're just talking to people trying to get clues and whatnot, but interestingly enough, when they talked about the genre shifting, they were not kidding. So you're playing as a character that really looks like a mashup between like an older Mario Sonic type character, and you're jumping around in this world that's clearly Super Mario inspired platformer, but when looking at it, things are not what they seem. It's one of those things that's so cutesy, you know it's hiding something darker. Kind of like an Adult Swim skit at like 3 in the morning. You just kind of look and you're like, this is not right. Something is very, very wrong here. So, personally, I enjoy this game. I would definitely play it more in the future. I definitely would recommend it. Again, you might not be interested in the art style, and I understand where you're coming from, but I think it has a different kind of look, and that's what's drawing me into this game. So again, would definitely recommend. Moving on to Dex, looking at the summary here, it says, explore the futuristic city of Harbor Prime and a host of diverse locations in both physical reality and the wild reaches of cyberspace in Dex. With this Steam key, players will meet many inhabitants, answer the challenges the city has to offer, roam the neon-lit streets, and augment your character with skills and implants. Or is it and implants? I don't know if I hit the landing there. Dex is a story-driven action/stealth side-scrolling RPG with a focus on exploration and a fresh new vision of cyberspace. Discover the truth behind the enigmatic AI striving to reach the singularity, a theoretical event horizon in which artificial intelligence will surpass human intelligence, and all bets about the future will be off. That was a sentence. That was a whole sentence I had to read and I had to breathe in for. That was a whole thing. How will you play your part in the story? Okay, so it might look like I'm cracking jokes here, but I really do enjoy the art style of this game, both the cutscenes and the actual gameplay. Also, you can use a controller for this. I'm actually playing this with my wired Xbox 360 controller, so yay! Here's the thing though. I am not a big fan of the fights. And yes, this is a stealth game as well, so you don't have to get into every single fight, but they do throw you into some, and both how dark the game is and just in general trying to time it out, I just continuously get my butt kicked, and it feels like I'm never doing the right thing. It's not that the game is too difficult to understand necessarily, I think it's just more of a me issue, but just with how open this world is, I feel like I'm never really going the right way. I'm told, hey, listen, you can go over here and do this thing, and I get into really cool, interesting conversations, but then I don't know if I'm going the right way or not. So it's one of those things where I'm not saying I need my story to be completely structured. I do love the like how big a world, let's say like Yakuza is, a Kamurocho and Yakuza. I really enjoy how big that world is, but I never feel like I'm potentially going in through chapters out of order. And in this case, maybe I need to play it a little bit more. I've only played it for about 20 minutes, but personally, I'm just not a big fan of this game as of this time. I'll give it another chance. Maybe if I do, I'll love it. But personally, I don't say that I don't even recommend it, because again, it might just completely be a me issue, but I do think that it was worth literally the under $1 that it was. I believe it was 49 cents, but I just don't really want to delve back into this game right now, but I may in the future. So the summary for Shuyan Saga says that Shuyan Saga is a graphic novel series where action scenes come alive through 3D combat gameplay. Set in an ancient Chinese martial arts fantasy universe, the player embarks on a life-changing journey as Shuyan, a carefree princess fed up with her constricted and pampered life, to become a true disciple of Kung Fu and stop the evil Guer horde from destroying the 5 kingdoms. So something that I found interesting with this game is, looking at this footage, seeing the choices that I'm making, and also looking at the summary, you're probably thinking what I initially thought. Oh, this is going to be a visual novel type game. If you are going to be doing certain types of action sequences, then you're going to be choosing what you do. Do you jump here? Do you punch like this? Like, that's what the game is going to be. And the art style is gorgeous, but that's what it is. But what's interesting is that when you end up fighting people, you actually switch over to a fight out of a PS1, PS2 style action game. So yes, you do have to use your mouse and keyboard, sadly. I wish you could use a controller, but interestingly enough though, even though you do have to use those, the controls are easy enough to pick up that you don't feel like you are completely lost when trying to use a mouse and keyboard. I do really enjoy this game. The story does end up, some people would probably compare it to, any kind of Disney Princess Mulan type situation where, the character is trying to, is royalty that's trying to get out of that and be a fighter. I mean, even, you saw that with Jasmine. You've seen that in many different types of Disney stories. But I think what's really cool here is you get to be that character. You get to fight as that character. I don't believe there were any Mulan games. And when it came to Aladdin, well, all the games were about Aladdin, not Jasmine. So in this situation, being able to play as her, being able to see these beautiful, these backgrounds and everything, and really see her interact with her friends, and also full voiceover work, which I found very interesting. So I think that this definitely was worth it. I would even recommend it as well. I've only played 20 minutes or so of it, but I definitely want to play more. Can't wait to play more of this. So this one really surprised me. I did not expect this one to be as intriguing and as fun as it ended up being. But you want to talk about surprising? Let's look at the summary here for Pony Island. Pony Island is a suspense puzzle game in disguise. You are in limbo, trapped in a malevolent and malfunctioning arcade machine devised by the devil himself. The devil detests having his puzzles solved and poor programming exposed. You will need to think outside the box to proceed, and you will be insulted when you do. That's the summary, everybody. And looking at this game, they're right. This game is a complete and utter mindfuck. They continuously want to stress you out, but not in a way like a jump scary way. This isn't like a PT situation from what I've played so far. I've played about maybe 10-15 minutes or so, but they just want to make you feel uncomfortable and not safe. And I enjoy that so much when playing a game, because here's the thing, right? I love myself a good scary atmosphere. I don't like being scared so much that I feel like I'm running constantly from ghosts or zombies or whatnot. That kind of gets me a little tense. Movies, not so much, but games, yes. But in this case, just having each kind of new thing pop up and really kind of freak me out and distort my sense of reality, I'm all for it, and I need to play more of this game. This is another shocker. I did not think this would be this good. A soul-searching puzzle adventure that tells a story of life, loss, reconciliation, and hope. Entrenched in a beautifully sun-kissed and handcrafted world, embark on a heartfelt journey interwoven with lighthearted and pressure-free puzzle solving. And yeah, actually, looking at this thing, I just felt calm. It's just so peaceful, so calm, so serene. You could actually solve puzzles by moving the mountains so that you could actually get farther into the town to talk to people. And you can, when talking to people, you end up seeing flashbacks to, I assume, in the game, I haven't gotten that far into it, but from the looks of it, I believe this man's wife has passed. So he sees couples, but there isn't any hate in his heart from the looks of it. It's just peaceful and it's calm, and it's one of those things where look, don't get me wrong, I enjoy a good game where I'm running for my life. Huge fan of, I remember growing up with Crash Bandicoot and just running from the bear, running from dinosaurs and whatnot. So I have no problem with pressure in a video game, but being able to play a game that really kind of relaxes me in this way and just makes me feel good, just all of these colors, the way they come together, is just beautiful. So personally, I definitely would recommend this game if you just want some downtime. And now we're moving on to a game that might be the cutest one here, World's Dawn. Its summary describes it as a colorful life and social sim set in a sleepy seaside village. Inspired by the Harvest Moon series, it features vibrant top-down graphics, a huge cast of quirky characters to meet and befriend, and 30-plus hours of charming gameplay. Soak in the enchanted, whimsical atmosphere of Sugar Blossom Village as you build friendships, find love, harvest crops, tend livestock, customize your farmhouse, compete in festivals, fish, forage, mine, cook, and discover magical secrets, and more. Jeebus, that's a lot of stuff. But I do have to say, though, I really am enjoying it. So I've only played 20 minutes or so. I know they said 30 plus hours of gameplay, so I definitely do have to actually sit down and really sink my teeth into this. But so far, I love the art style. You're going around talking to these different characters. I'm doing it with my dog, buying dog food and whatnot. So I'm really just enjoying this vibe. It's a very chill, relaxed vibe. While this is obviously, as it says, it's inspired by the Harvest Moon series, I definitely get an Animal Crossing type of vibe, and even though I'm not really a fan of Stardew Valley, never really got into it, it's definitely making me think of that game as well. So if you want to play a game where you're just relaxing, vibing out, chilling out, I think that this would be a game for you. I'm, again, enjoying it so far. I really just have to sit down and actually really get into it, but I'm loving the vibes, and I can't wait to end up playing more of it. So last but not least, at least before we get to the mystery games ones, we are talking about Skullgirls. So I'm sure you've heard about this game, so we're not really going to go through a summary of it. I'm just going to describe it as a game that has a lot of quirky characters in it, a lot of different cool powers. You can do one-on-one, you can do three-on-three. Also, the Encore Edition, the DLC, does have full voiceover work, and I believe it also ups the graphics as well. There's a different style you can play as. I believe it also gave me a demo as well, something called the Endless Beta. I don't know what that is. What I do know is that I played the game. I haven't beaten the game yet, but I played it as Cerebella and also as Beowulf. And Cerebella is cool. She seems to be part of like this mafiosa type crew. And then Beowulf, he's my favorite because he's a pro wrestler. So he's a retired pro wrestler. He fights with a chair in hand. This game is just so weird, and I love it so much. Now I want to cut my hair to look a little bit more like Beowulf. Yeah, I'd also have to like work out and whatnot, but like, you know, it's the hair. I got the facial hair gone. I gotta just get the hair gone. So this whole thing, this whole game, the art style, the way you can fight. Of course, you can use a controller with it as well. I actually used an Xbox 360 wired controller with it. In general, though, it's just this whole game just is very appealing to me. Their backstories are. I'm a little confused because it felt like as I was playing at least Beowulf's story, that there was more going on that I didn't know about from previous games. I was trying to do some research on it, and it looks like this game, even though it is like a remake of sorts, it's not like it's continuing the story. It still is the original story. If anyone knows more about the Skullgirls series, please correct me on that. Either way, I just really enjoy this game so much. Definitely want to play more of it. Definitely want to beat some of these story modes, and I would definitely recommend it. As a fan of fighters, I'm really enjoying it a lot. And now we're moving on to the mystery games. So with the mystery games, ooh, spooky, we are going to have a different set of rules. So I will not be playing every single one of these games, and I'll tell you why each and every time as we go through the games. So the first one that we see is SimCity 4 Deluxe Edition. I will not be playing this game. This game is just not my jam. It's not really for me. So that one is arguably a bust. And game number 2 is The Last Federation. So this is also not my jam, but it is Tristan's because he's a huge fan of like Star Wars, Empire at War, and stuff like that. And for some of you who don't know Tristan, some longtime fans would definitely know him because he's not only one of my best friends over 10 years now, he also is he's been a contributor to the channel since almost day one. So this is definitely a game for him, so I'll definitely be giving that game to him now. When it comes to the third game, which actually is a Star Wars game, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast, I will not be giving that to him because I'm pretty sure he already has it. And if he doesn't, I'll definitely send it his way, but I'm pretty sure we talked and he said that he already had it. So I'll be using that myself, but the problem is, the reason why I'm not playing it right now is because it's actually, if I remember correctly, the last Jedi Knight game. So I need to play a bunch of games before this, and I actually need to buy them in some way or another, probably digitally, if I can get them cheap enough. So I need to be able to buy those games before I play this one. So I won't be spoiling myself. I don't want to just talk about this and not really know what's going on. So I've heard great things specifically from Tristan. I would definitely recommend it, but again, you got to play a bunch of games before it. Not just Jedi Knight 1, but I believe there were also some other games before it as well. I'm not sure if Dark Forces connects to it specifically, but there were some other Jedi games that do connect to the overall kind of franchise of, not franchise, but like the little continuity that is in these, I believe, 5 games, maybe 6. The fourth game is Etherlords 1 and 2. So this game actually looks pretty cool, but sadly I can't show you all any footage of it, and the reason why is because for some reason it wasn't really letting me play it in windowed mode, so I couldn't capture any footage. It did look cool. It does look like something I'd want to play. Again, obviously with how inexpensive it was, I definitely want to try it out, but didn't really have the chance to because I couldn't really capture any footage for it, so I will definitely check it out, and if we do end up, let's say, reviewing it or something like that, that would be over at our Game Time channel. We'll link that in the description box down below. And the fifth game is Dirt Rally, and I do like racing games, so we'll be checking that out later. And the sixth game is CTU, Counter-Terrorism Unit. First-person shooters really aren't my jam, but I am interested to see what this game could do, so we will be checking it out later in the video. Game number 7 is Chris Sawyer's Locomotion. Gonna go with a no on that one. Number 8 is Gomo, and that one is actually one that I've been very interested in, so I'm actually super happy that I got it here. Number 9 is Death to Spies, Moment of Truth. Okay. I'm sure, we'll try it. Oh. And the last one is Bomber Crew Deluxe Edition. So you know what? Let's try that one out too. Let's go to these games, let's see how they look. So I'm getting this directly off of Dirt Rally's Steam page. So it says, Dirt Rally is the most authentic and thrilling rally game ever made, road tested over 80 million miles by the Dirt community. It perfectly captures that white-knuckle feeling of racing on the edge as you hurtle across dangerous roads, knowing that one crash could irreparably harm your stage time. And that's the problem there, because, yeah, this game's a little bit too realistic for me. Look, I'm the kind of guy, I don't know why I'm doing that voice. Look, I'm the kind of guy that likes Burnout, alright? I think just by saying that, all of you out there who like racing games are like, oh, okay, this is not for him. Burnout is a very arcadey, at least the ones that I played. Burnout Takedown. I don't know if that was Burnout 3 or I played Burnout 3 separately, but I enjoy games like Burnout. Just arcade, hit 'em off the road style of racing. And I'm not interested. So that one sadly is a bust. Gomo, on the other hand, is not. The summary on its Steam page says, how far would you go to save your best friend? For Gomo, the answer to this question is clear. To the end of the world and further, if necessary. Join him on his journey through the bizarre 2D landscapes of this dreamlike point-and-click adventure. And I really like it. So the art style is really cute, but kind of creepy and weird. I don't really play a lot of point and clicks, but when I do, I enjoy ones where the puzzles are a bit more simple. And the reason why is because sometimes with puzzles that are a bit more complex, you really, in my opinion, have to feel like you get into the mind of the person writing it rather than how you can kind of crack that puzzle. Depends on the game, of course, but sometimes when I play point and clicks, I just feel like I'm completely lost. Not in a game like this. I really do enjoy it. You do have to go find your best friend, your dog, who has been kidnapped, as the summary was implying, and overall, I really enjoy what I've played so far. I haven't played too much of it, but I definitely want to get back into it and play some more. Join the CTU. Arrest dangerous terrorist threats. Use your gadgets, including the snake cam, and play online with up to 5-player co-op. That's literally the summary right there. So yeah, I don't like this game. So you have to use the mouse and keyboard to play it, but it's just, there's so much going on that I feel like it looks good, okay? But even through just trying to do practice mode, heck, even before practice, just trying to choose your squad, you actually have to end up hiring dudes just to bring on your squad. So there is a monetary aspect to it. Now, when it comes to this game in Dirt Rally, I'm not saying that they're trying to charge you in real life currency for it. I'm pretty sure it's all in-game currency, but and I don't know if there's any monetization involved in it. I'm just saying that, when you're just starting out the game and you're given a certain amount of money and you're like, buy these, either hire these people or buy these cars, you kind of sit back and you're like, ah, man, I want to get into this and I just want to play. So I went on a training mission with one guy, and the weird thing is that you are the manager. You are not, like, you are taking over the role of the guy that you hired. So I'm walking around as this dude, like, I have to name myself, but then also name this dude, and I'm just walking around as him, and I don't know what I'm doing. And yes, I would have probably known if I had focused on the controls a bit more and really studied them, but it's just a lot to do on a keyboard. So personally, this is just not the game for me. So for me, it's a bust. The most mysterious Secret Service agency of World War II. This is a third-person stealth action game describing the activities of the SMERSH. SMERSH? The most mysterious Secret Service agency of World War II. Moment of Truth is a sequel to the popular stealth action title Death to Spies. Now this was another game I had some problems with, so you do have to use the keyboard and mouse yet again, and you go on your first mission, and they're giving you a lot to handle. Okay, on your first mission, they're like, yeah, you gotta go save this person and then make sure don't step on these mines. I stepped on mines and I died. Because here's the thing, they don't really tell you exactly where you have to go. They tell you, hey, this is your mission, but after that, you don't really have any markers or anything. I'm just kind of getting lost. At one point, they are telling me I'm going the wrong way, but they didn't really tell me what was the right way. So personally, this is just not another one that's not really a game for me. I thought it was going to be a bit more like GoldenEye, and I think for people who are fans of games like that, you might enjoy this, but personally, and I'm sure someone out there is going to say, how dare you, this is such a good game, and it probably is, but it definitely is not the game for me. Chucks away, Bomber Crew is a strategic simulation game where picking the right crew and keeping your bomber in tip-top shape is the difference between completing your mission or losing it all. I'm really mixed on Bomber Crew. So on the one hand, it's cute as hell. On the other hand, though, the cute as hellness of it really threw me off because thankfully you can use a controller with this. So I was using my wired 360 controller yet again. But the problem is that as I'm trying, like, you have to control everyone on that plane. So you have to control people as they're trying to shoot others down and kind of move your scopes at certain targets so you can actually shoot them down. Which, by the way, is so weird to do when the game looks so cute. And then at the same time, you have to make sure that, if you need to fly to a certain area, you also then switch over to the pilot who's flying the plane, and then have him actually even lower down the gear so you can actually land safely. So it's just a lot. Again, for a game that looks this cute, it really threw me for a loop with how much I had to do. So the reason why I'm mixed is because, again, there's just so much to do in it that I'm not saying I don't want to try some more of it, because I really do enjoy what I've played thus far, but I just feel like I'm never really gonna get it because of just how much I have to do throughout the game, how many people I've switched to, but it definitely is not a bust, I'll say that much. I definitely enjoyed my time with it. I would like to play some more of it. It's just this weird mix of, like, pilot wings, but, like, if you could actually shoot out of the plane, and also, again, just the fact that you can jump to multiple people and you can pick your own crew and whatnot to go out with. So there's more customization. I'm not against customization in terms of, I'm not against it at all, but, like, for me personally, when it comes to things like video, audio, things like that, I love customization, but when it comes to getting this in depth with picking your crew and whatnot, at a certain point, I'm like, I want to play. I don't have a lot of time. I just want to get into this. So I don't dislike it. It's just that it's something that I really have to sink my teeth into and become dedicated to. But I do want to try some more of it, I'll say. So this one definitely is not a bust. So before we jump back to me in front of the shelf, I just want to say that overall, I think this was a good haul. Yes, I'm not going to be playing every single one of these games again, but still overall, I think I saved a decent amount of money, and these games many of them look pretty damn good. Also, it does seem like Fanatical is a legit website as well, giving you legit Steam keys. I know for some of you that probably have used Fanatical for years now, you're like, really, Matt? But personally, I had no idea that there were discount Steam keys in legit places. I thought it was just Steam or bust. If Steam has a sale, great. And don't get me wrong, obviously there's Epic Games Store and whatnot, but I mean, like, for years it was Steam or nothing. So you get something during a Steam sale, great, you're never going to play it, but you got something during a Steam sale, or multiple things. But I didn't realize there are places like Fanatical and even some other websites that I'll be covering in future videos. Had no idea they existed. Really cool that they do, because I've actually gotten some pretty cool deals from them. So let's jump back to me in front of the shelf. Alright, so they all worked. Good. The games they're aight. I mean, again, some, as you saw, were great, some, as you saw, were but you know what? Hey, again, looking at that price, I knew that, you know, these were going to be a very interesting kind of hodgepodge of games. So, thank you for watching this episode as always. If you like the video, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you don't like the video, I didn't mention this last time, but you know, if you don't like the video, you can still just do that, right? You can still like and subscribe. That's totally fine. Like, I won't judge you for it. It's okay. But either way, I love you all. Take care, and tune in next time for another episode of Did I Get What I Ordered? All right, everybody. So, see ya.